What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Torrent, a podcast giving you discussions on music, movies, TV, and video games. I'm your host, Nick, and I'm joined, as always, by Alan and Matt. Guys, what's up?
Hey, Nick. How's it going? Just in Vermont this weekend, and it's freaking beautiful up there. It's so mountainous. And just...
Were you in Burlington?
No, I was in Arlington, which is about an hour south of Burlington.
Yeah. Vermont's
cool.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. I was thinking about, we were talking about a backpacking trip, maybe in a couple years. Have you guys ever heard about that, or have ever been interested in doing something like that? It's like
where you kind of just live out of your backpack, essentially, and just...
yeah, you spend like a week or two just out in the woods, and you just, you live out of your backpack, filter water, and...
Are you prepared to shit in the woods that many times?
I think so, yeah.
I shit in the woods on the regular anyway, so that works well for me.
Nice.
Would you ever try it?
What's that?
Would you ever try it, backpacking?
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, I would try it once. I would try everything once. Matt casually pouring candies out.
Just some nerds. Speaking of our sponsors, thanks, nerds.
Man, you're addicted to nerds.
Just joking, we're not sponsored by nerds. I do like nerds, yeah.
Nerds are pretty good.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
All right, so before we introduce our special guest today, I just want to remind everyone that if you want to get in touch with us, you can find us at The Torrent Podcast on Twitter and Facebook, and also our Instagram at the same name. We also have our TeePublic store where you can buy merch, and also follow us on our Twitch stream. Alan, you don't know this yet, but Matt and I had bought Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and we have been streaming it.
No way.
Twitch. Yeah.
You should have told me. I would have watched it.
So make sure you keep an eye on our... Yeah, it's really good.
So freaking good.
It's fun. It's like everything you thought PUBG would be, but way better.
Way better.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been doing... There's a Battle Royale mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, cool.
So be on the lookout for our Twitch stream for that game as well. All right, so let's get into it here. I'd like to welcome our longtime friend, fellow Bro Feast member. It's our friend TJ. TJ, what's up, man?
Hi, guys. Do they know about the Bro Feast?
They don't. That was the first time I brought it up.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have many traditions on the show between Mead Fest and everything else. But back in high school, we used to do this thing where we used to all get together and go to the shittiest restaurant known to humankind, and that's Denny's. And we used to go have dinner there and chill out, and then get into some shenanigans and in like school parking lots and shit.
Giving.
Yeah.
We did some Bros Givings too.
Bros Givings, yep.
At Denny's, yep.
At Denny's always.
Yeah.
We should do that again. At Denny's.
We should. I feel like we gotta,
my palate is not any more refined than it was.
Yeah, I never grew out of that.
Right.
I still live that way.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure we should. We'll have to organize something around the holidays here when everyone's in town. But anyway, TJ, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Well, we wanted to have you on today to talk about horror movies. Halloween's coming up. You know, everyone's kind of got Halloween on the brain. We're watching scary movies, scary TV shows, and we kind of just... you're a big horror movie fan, yes?
Oh, yeah. I watch horror movies all year round. It's always Halloween for me.
So we wanted to have you on to talk a little bit about that. But first, I want the audience to get a chance to know you a little bit. So what kind of things are you into besides horror movies, obviously? Like, what have you been watching lately? What do you listen to?
Oh, well, besides the horror movies, I've always got like something on in the background. Always running Trailer Park Boys reruns. That's always Sunny reruns.
Yeah.
The new season of Big Mouth is out, and that's really good. That's really funny. That's
great. Nick Kroll's show, right?
Nick Kroll's show, and I usually don't like Nick Kroll, to be honest. I think he's a very annoying, small little man, but creative genius for the show. Seriously, it's really funny.
There's a bunch of people on that show, right? Like John Mulaney's in that show too, and I think they got a bunch of other guests.
Yeah, they got pretty famous voices on that show, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think Maya Rudolph from SNL is on there.
Oh, that's right.
The female hormone monster.
Yeah. Nice. That's on my short list of things to watch. I gotta check that out. I've heard good things.
Not many things make me laugh out loud like by myself.
Yeah.
like alone, but that one did for sure.
Cool. I'll definitely have to check that out. Nice. So how about on the music side? What do you typically listen to on a regular day?
I'm all over the place. There's a few things that I don't listen to. I call them the 3 C's, and that is country music, Christian music, and Christmas music.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
But
Country, really, TJ?
yeah, I hate country, man. I'm from upstate New York. Like, keep that south of the Mason-Dixon line, please.
Country's been very hotly debated on this show, Tej.
Okay.
Alan is obsessed with country.
You moved to Connecticut, and you think you're all country now. Connecticut.
Yeah, okay. It's the heart and soul of Connecticut is country.
That's far. That's even farther. But anyways, mostly what I listen to is very heavy metal or hardcore or some gangster rap.
Yeah.
Really big into. Well, mainly my favorite genre, I really can't describe it. It would be hipster bullshit.
Okay.
Like my favorite band is Animal Collective.
What? I didn't know you liked them.
Oh, yeah.
TJ, we should talk about music more. I feel like
we should.
I feel like
I'm looking at all of my Animal Collective records right now.
Really?
Yeah, I got them all.
Wow,
nice. I actually just saw Animal Collective last March in Montreal.
Wow.
With Ryan. Ryan came with me.
Montreal's kind of far.
Ryan, also another friend of the show who will be probably on sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah.
Cool, man. So do you fuck with any top 40 pop music? I know.
The only thing that really keeps me like relative with the youngsters these days is I will always listen to like the new hip hop. I never thought I would be that person, but I love new rap. Like, it's like what is the newest stuff that's out right now? Like all the Migos, Future just came out with something new. I'm a big Cardi B fan.
Oh, we're big fans here too. Yeah, for
sure. I don't like Drake.
No?
Yeah, Drake's very hit or miss for me, but
and
that's
I don't think I've ever heard a Post Malone song.
Not even like Rockstar or Better Now or whatever, like this Jackie Chan, whatever the fuck.
I feel like I've heard like snippets of those first two that you mentioned, but never whole songs.
Yeah,
I don't listen to the radio. So like I'll just look for new hip hop that comes out, and then like I have XM in my truck, and it's usually on like the 40s Junction, which is like old like 40s blues and jazz, or the Pop 2K hits. Yeah, the pop hits of our high school times.
I feel like it's kind of an interesting thing. I feel like if you just don't listen to the radio, you're like never ever hear anything. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be in your own little musical bubble, and then you find expand when you find something new.
I am.
Yeah.
And like I don't have kids. I'm not close to anyone that has kids. Like I don't know anything about like children's movies now or kid shows or anything like that. Like I'm very left in the dark. Like if I talk to my nieces, they're like 5 and 3, so it's hard to talk to them. But all the stuff that they do talk about, I have no idea.
You're like, oh, what's this?
Like, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah, I before I didn't really listen to a lot of the popular music, and then when we started to do this show, Alan kind of keeps us up with all the Nicki Minaj's and the Cardi B's and all the Drake stuff, and some of it's real good, some of it I find myself liking, but a lot of it you really gotta, I don't know, not it's different. It's different from what I think most people normally listen to.
Yeah, and that's something that people also have to take into consideration too, is like in the realm of hip hop, like that has grown to be the dominant genre in America right now.
Yeah.
Used to be rock and roll.
Yep.
It's not anymore.
Right.
Hip hop, rap is, in my opinion, tied with country music, unfortunately, as the most American forms of music. That's American music. Is rap and country. Which,
not to get too political, but it is kind of an interesting dynamic here based on what's going on in our country.
Blue and
right
red,
now.
Yeah. But we've seen it happen in rock and roll music because it's obviously older, that it divides into subgenres.
Yeah.
rock evolved into hard rock, soft rock,
Right.
Metal, punk,
Right.
all that other stuff. And now rap is starting to evolve into like
Yeah.
different kinds of rap. There's like emo rap, there's gangster rap, there's all these different kinds of subgenres now, and like
Yeah, trap and everything's huge right now.
and people kind of talk shit about like these new young rappers that are trying to do something new, and like kind of don't get it that it's not the same rap. It's not like we grew up listening to I don't know, like Dr. Dre, like not
Yeah.
and that was like the only kind of rap that was out, like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Tupac and Biggie, like that was it. That was the only kind of rap, and now there's a bunch of different tiers to it.
Right.
And people are still acting like there's just the one. So
Yeah. Yep.
like the Lil Pump and Kanye West video got a lot of flack because it was goofy and funny.
Yeah.
But like not everything is going to be serious all the time.
Right.
Like you
Right.
have your Led Zeppelin that was so like powerful and serious, and then you have your Blink-182 that was like still good,
Yep.
but they were just like having fun,
Lighthearted
like
and yeah.
doing funny stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Like, yeah, you have your
exactly.
Dr. Dre's and Snoop Dogg's that were being serious, and now you have your Kanye West and Lil Pump that are kind of doing some fun stuff with it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yep.
Take it for
Yep.
what it is.
All right, let's dive into the main stuff here, guys. So, like I said off the top, we wanted to talk about horror movies. And we have a couple reviews for you today. The first being the movie Hereditary. We brought this up on the show a while back. They were touting this movie as like the scariest film since the original Exorcist. It's gotten a lot of hype around this movie. TJ and Matt, you both had a chance to see this movie. My first question for the both of you is: did it live up to that hype? Is it as scary as the original Exorcist?
So I absolutely loved this movie. I thought it was amazing. I don't know how everyone else will feel about it. I'm imagining it's not going to be as like universally recognized as The Exorcist, probably.
Sure.
But I think personally this type of movie with like mental health kind of stuff and like just like super crazy. I don't know. It was like bananas. It was a bananas movie. So I absolutely loved it. So
Cool.
How did you feel, TJ?
I wouldn't say that it didn't live up to the expectations. Comparing it to The Exorcist is a little bit subjective because for the time, that was a groundbreaking horror movie, and there was a lot of stuff that we hadn't seen before in that movie. But
Yeah.
now we're so used to things like that The Exorcist really isn't that scary by today's standards.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, I do think Hereditary is a scarier movie than the original Exorcist, but it didn't make me like shit my pants or anything.
Right.
It was really well done. It was really well done, but like people were talking about it being this scariest movie that they've ever seen, and
Yeah. It's not.
I don't think so.
Okay.
How did you feel like?
But I liked it. I liked it. I don't want you to think that I didn't like it, but
Sure.
it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go
It was
ahead.
really well done, but.
How did you feel like coming out of the theater? Because I know with a lot of scary movies, it can be like it's something that really sinks in with you. Sometimes when you come out of the theater, or sometimes you're just like, "Oh, that was cool," whatever. Did it have any like lasting effects when you saw it?
I definitely thought it had lasting effects. I would disagree with TJ. I mean, actually, I would disagree with TJ because I haven't seen as many scary movies as TJ. So I would say that movie was super scary to me. I thought it was like crazy. And when I watched that movie, I was at my girlfriend's house. So being in like a dark house and watching this movie and then turning off the movie, then going to like sleep in a dark house was very scary.
Well, that's part of
And
the whole experience, right?
Yeah,
About a horror
right.
movie is that's what
It
gets
was-
people scared. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. And there were just some scenes there that I just thought were bananas. Like at the end when like if you like look in the background, you see this like mom like propped up on the wall. Spoiler alert, sorry, but like
Yeah.
you see like this person like propped up in the wall, just like standing there, and like nothing's happening, but it's just oh man, that was crazy. I remember when I noticed that, I was like, what the fuck? Oh my
Yeah.
god!
So real quick, before we
the
get
ending
to
of that movie is really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
before
Awesome.
before we get too much into spoilers here, give us the the overall like synopsis, like plot, just in general terms of what the movie's about?
It's hard to do that because a lot of that would be spoiling it. As it turns out, like you watch the trailer and you're kind of like, oh, this looks really scary and crazy, but what's it about? I guess what I'll say is that like there's a family, this like goofy looking, like creepy looking daughter, and the grandma passes away, and it turns out the grandma had a lot of secrets, and those are starting to come out now that she's passed away. And you start to learn about the family and about the mental illnesses that have been going on in the family, and all these like weird spiritual kind of things that have been happening, and it all starts to kind of like explode, and just like this family gets engulfed in it, and it's just all this craziness ensues basically.
Okay.
So yeah, so I felt like that movie to me had like a big impact, and I loved it. It wasn't like super gory or anything, because I think sometimes gore and like violence can be kind of a cheap way to scare people because it's kind of just like gross.
Yeah.
I think that movie did a really good job of being scary and thrilling without that, really. Kind of like A Quiet Place. I feel like A Quiet Place did that too.
Okay.
So.
Do you want to give it an actual rating? Like, what would you give it?
Are we doing out of 5 like normal? 5 bottles of mead?
Yep.
I would give it a 5. I mean, I had no complaints about it, really. I thought it was great.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. TJ, how about you? Well, if you had to give it a rating, what would you?
I give it like a 4, like a 4.35 too.
Okay.
I would say.
All right, cool. So I remember seeing from the trailer, the little girl was the big deal for me, I think. And I think, Matt, you kind of mentioned it, was that seemed like the most scary part of the movie. But from what I'm hearing, she's not in the movie too long. Minor, again, spoilers.
Right.
I'm surprised you heard that.
Yeah. So, what would you say is like the scariest part? Like, what's the big thing about this movie that makes it unique?
Man,
It's either for TJ or you. It doesn't matter.
Well, so TJ can go also.
Okay.
But I think the actress's name is Toni Collette. I thought her performance was crazy.
Is it the mom? Is it the
mom? Yeah,
the main character.
And
okay.
like she kind of is the main character, and just like all the things she's going through and all that stuff she's suffering through, and it's just like her character. There are some scenes where you're watching and you're like, oh my god, what is happening? Like, I thought that was so cool. I thought she was an awesome actress. So I would say that she was like the showstopper of that movie. What do you think, TJ?
I really just liked the last like 15 minutes of it. That was like my favorite part.
Totally.
Like a lot of stuff like kind of makes sense, and it changes the tone of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like once you understand kind of what the deal of all that stuff is,
right.
You're like, oh, okay, that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
So is there any reason to watch it a second time once you've seen it the first time?
I feel like there's probably some stuff that you like after knowing the whole story, I'm sure that there's like some smaller things that you could pick up on. Like I definitely want to watch it again and see if I can pick up on some things that I might have missed out on or
I agree.
Or anything.
I agree.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, I loved
Nice.
it. I thought it was awesome. Alan, you should watch it. Actually, both you and Nick should watch
I
it.
actually do really want to see it now. After just hearing you guys talk about it, it sounds like it'd be really, really cool to see.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
I mean, I was kind of sold after the trailer. Do you think the trailer did a better job of selling this movie than the actual movie itself, or you think it's definitely worth seeing? I mean, you both gave it pretty high ratings, but sometimes the trailers can be deceiving.
I guess I just thought the trailer, like I remember I showed it to my sister, and afterwards we were both kind of like, we have no idea what this movie's about. It just is a bunch of like disturbing, crazy images.
Yeah.
Which I think kind of sums it up.
Okay.
I feel like that's like they're not trying to spoil anything, but
yeah, there's a lot of times where like a preview will just kind of give you all the scary parts, or for comedies like all the funny parts, and then you go see it and you're like, okay, well, I could have just watched the preview.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't really give away too much of the actual storyline, and it doesn't give away all of the scary parts either.
Cool.
Which is nice.
That's good to hear. Yeah, it's nice when there's a well-crafted trailer that can bring you in to see the movie without giving away too much. I feel like some movies I see now that the trailers they like give away the whole thing. Like you could like the latest Jurassic Park movie. If you watch the trailer for that, you can pretty much piece together exactly what's going to happen throughout the whole movie, and that's kind of a bummer sometimes. All right, cool. So moving on to speaking of trailers that are very deceptive, we're going to move on to Hold the Dark. Hold the Dark is a thriller that came out on Netflix in September. And I happened to stumble upon the trailer for this while surfing through Netflix, and I thought the trailer was incredible. I'm like, okay, this is exactly the type of movie that I like. It's got an extreme environment. It's got some murder mystery behind it, and it's got some maybe potentially supernatural things going on, or like a killer or something. Something weird is going on. So I'm like, and it has Bernard from Westworld in it, and I was like, this sounds awesome, or this looks awesome. And then I watched the movie, and I just thought it was okay. TJ, what did you think of this movie? We'll let you go first this time.
So it took me a few times to watch this movie, like I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Because I just kept falling asleep. It's not boring, but it's a personal problem that I just fall asleep all the time. So I finally got through the whole thing, and the preview was pretty deceptive. You know, you think that you're getting into this crazy adventure, and like things do get crazy, but there is not as much like terror or like as much supernatural as they lead out to believe. It's more of just like they were starting to talk about things which are really interesting to me, like kind of like old gods and like Native American type things. Which side
That's
note,
really cool.
The Ritual on Netflix has a lot to do with like a Nordic god.
Ooh, okay.
That's a really good movie. But I thought that it was going to be something to do with some Native American Alaskan gods and stuff, but it's really just the evil of people.
Yeah.
It's kind of disappointing.
Yep.
I mean, it was the scenery was good, and the imagery was nice, but
yeah. We'll come back to that. Alan, what were you going to say?
I would say, and that was kind of the feel I got from the trailer, was that it was not really so much about like a corruption or about like some crazy psychopath, but more just the evil of people. So you're saying that it kind of played into that? It was more just like people are inherently evil kind of vibe, or was there still some kind of supernatural stuff going on, or like demon ghosts?
There was a little bit, but it's not as much as like the movie itself let on. Like there's as the movie is going, like in the beginning, like people are blaming like a mysterious wolf, like they're talking about a wolf, like not the animal, a wolf, like a big spirit or something else that is representing a wolf. But I think it might just be that mask.
Yeah. So premise of the story is that like a little boy gets taken away by a supposed wolf. So this mom hires this wolf expert to fly into Alaska to try to figure out, to find her son, essentially, or at least kill the wolf that killed her son. And we learn right in the beginning that this isn't the only kid that's been taken by wolves, and that it kind of leads us down the rabbit hole of what's actually going on in this town. Now, what I thought this movie did a really good job of, and TJ mentioned it a little while ago, was the scenery. This is the same director who directed the movie The Green Room, which came out a while back. I don't know if you've had a chance to see The Green Room. But scenery-wise, this movie was, I thought, really beautiful. Showing the Alaskan countryside, showing the vast landscapes, all that stuff. I thought that was really well done, and it really made you feel cold. Like I felt kind of cold through the whole movie. And there's some really well done action sequences, like, and this is a spoiler alert, TJ, halfway through the movie when they go to the one guy's house and he unloads
the shootout.
The shootout. The shootout was incredible. I mean, that was awesome.
That was really cool.
Yeah. And even some of the suspenseful parts where the dad is walking around and he's trying to chase the mom or whatever, and he's meeting all these people and he's even killing them along the way. That part was pretty good.
He's just so somber while he's doing it, and that's like creepy in itself. Like he's just very nonchalant about killing these people that he knows and cares about.
Yeah. And so I thought this movie was building up to be like there's going to be some really cool twist or revelation that happens that we're like, oh, it all makes sense. And then it just kind of, we get like maybe one snippet of, you know, one reason of an explanation, and then the movie just kind of ends. and then I was left a little unsatisfied, I think, with the whole story, and it's very open to interpretation, and I normally like those movies, but in this case I don't think I got enough meat to chew on, so to speak, that I was satisfied with the conclusion of the movie.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
I got a vibe from this movie that it was more about like just how bananas that area is, that spot in Alaska. Like they're basically on like the edge of civilization.
Yes.
Like they're basically like, I just got this whole the vibe that they're all just like, all those people are just like wild animals basically.
Yeah.
Like they're all just like feral. And so I thought that was more of what the movie was about, was just like brutal, like almost primitive humans.
And actually, I think you just nailed it right there. I'm pretty sure, like, that's what we kind of find out at the end of it. Spoiler is that the people out there can be wild, like just like wild animals, and it's like the relationship between people who are still trying to hold on to civilization and the people who are like, nah, man, we're right in the thick of it. We're in the wild here. You play by our rules out here. So
yeah. I mean, they were talking about Alaska in the movie, and the main guy said that he had a daughter in Anchorage, and they were like, "Oh no, that's not Alaska."
Yeah.
Yeah, Anchorage? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like the capital. It's the most city that you're gonna get in Alaska, but I think that she really just meant like that. That is like a
toned down
village.
Yeah,
they're living in a village that is just like self-sufficient, I guess.
Like that's not Alaska. Like they're in Alaska. They're literally in the wilderness. Like
yeah.
Like that's why that like line killed me. I was like,
right.
What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. I didn't really like the movie that much.
Was it really scary at all, or was it just was?
I mean, it's like I would say it might be more like a thriller.
Oh, Matt, did you get a chance to watch it? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, keep going.
That's okay. I would say it's more like a thriller.
Yeah, it's definitely a thriller.
It's not scary.
No, it's not scary. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought though. I guess I thought at first it was gonna be. The trailers made it look kind of.
So did I.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna have more of a horror element, and it ended up being just kind of like a
drama.
Like we said, no, not really a drama, more of a thriller, I would say. Okay. Yeah.
Thriller mystery.
Yeah, mystery thriller. Yeah, and for has anybody here seen Wind River by chance?
No.
Okay, that's a separate movie, but I got a lot of Wind River vibes, and that movie plays a lot. Plays the same almost with this movie, is that that movie takes place in like the mountains of Nebraska, where it's again really cold, and I think both of those movies did a very good job of showing what life is like out in those extreme climates. So if there's anything good to take away from it, Hold the Dark, that is like I said, the scenery I think is beautiful. The showing what how people survive out there is really good. And then if you kind of like some mild shootouts and
mild,
mild to put it,
it's got
understated a little bit.
That is just a machine gun. I don't know how to describe guns really.
Yeah.
But like that is a war machine.
Yeah,
he should not have had that.
Matt, what did you think about that scene?
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I almost wish if the movie was like an action kind of movie and that scene was like, that would be balling as hell.
Yeah.
That would be kind of more of my
your style.
Or that one like nude scene. That'd be some good fear boner territory there. So.
that was if you go to the dictionary and look up fear boner, that was the definition of a fear boner, I think.
Dude, I love a good fear boner.
You're talking about spoiler, when he's like trying to sleep and she's like taking a bath and she gets up, right? Puts on the mask.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching
that was
being
weird.
like, what is that?
Yeah.
She missed her husband that much? God, he's not even cute.
Yeah.
He's an old man.
All
right.
I have a real spoiler alert.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it on here though, because it's like it's gonna change. Like, okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Fast forward the next 15 seconds if you don't want to hear this and you want to watch Hold the Dark. But
yeah.
Did you know apparently that like it's implied that they're brother and sister?
Yes.
And wife?
I got that. Because
I did not get that. I read that online.
when I noticed that in the movie when he opened the tin and he grabbed like the keys or something like that. There's a photograph of them together like on a dock, and I think it does very much imply that they're brother and sister, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that makes a few things
make a lot more sense.
make sense. Yeah, because they're like the only fair skinned, like blonde hair, blue eyed people in the village.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway,
I smell what
Just
you're cooking.
just wanted to put that out there. I read that online.
Yeah. All right, so let's rate this thing here. TJ, what would you give it out of 5?
I don't know. It held my attention because of certain things, but it was a little bit of a letdown at the end. It really didn't deliver. So I don't want to like give it into the 2s, like high 2. I'll give it a 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a base 3.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. 3.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. About 3.25. I think like it was well shot. It's a well shot movie.
Yeah.
But just story wise, it didn't really hit for me. So yeah, for sure, 3.5, somewhere in there. I think I would give it.
Would you recommend me seeing it, or is it kind of one of those things I could just put on the back burner if I had time?
I would think put it on the back burner. I mean, there's parts of the movie that I think are really cool. I think you definitely should see, but
I mean, you could probably just watch like
the highlights
the
online.
shootout.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, watch the highlight.
Yeah.
And the nude scene.
To get the fear
Yeah.
boner.
Then
Yeah.
Then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Also, Alan, if you are going to look for a movie on Netflix to watch, you should watch The Invitation, because I just watched that the other day and it was sweet. And
The Invitation, you said?
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now.
Cool.
Ooh, tell us about that a little bit.
It just like TJ saw that too. It like popped up on Netflix, and me and Cece were like looking for a new movie, and it got like 90 or no, it got like 88% or something like that on Rotten Tomatoes. I was like, why not? And it's not like a groundbreaking, incredible movie. It's probably a little low budge, but it was actually really cool. And it was just
it didn't need to be high budget. It was a great storyline, and
there's just like this. So this guy gets invited to his like ex-wife's house where he lived with her.
Okay.
For like a dinner party, and they haven't seen them in a long time, but it starts to get like really weird, and they like wonder why they're invited here, and then this like crazy shit happens. It gets like weirder and weirder. It's like really holds your
it just keeps getting weirder. Like the whole premise of the story is weird, but you don't really know that they're going to see. It's like this guy and his girlfriend. You don't know that they're going to see his ex-wife, and they had a child together, and like you don't know that yet, and like things snowball.
Wow.
Definitely.
Okay.
And it's nuts. I definitely recommend that. The Invitation.
Oh, dang. We should have reviewed it for this. Damn it. All right,
well,
cool.
I saw it like 2 nights ago.
Yeah. All right, cool. So everyone go check out
I've seen that
The
like 3
Invitation.
times actually.
Really?
Talk about it next time.
Yeah.
It's not like we all of us saw that who saw that movie were just like, that was really good, but it wasn't like that was amazing. Like I thought Hereditary was better, but that was a super solid free movie on Netflix.
So again,
for
it's
something
that
that was
go ahead.
It was not very high budget and not like hyped up. I had never heard about it until I saw it on Netflix. So
cool. So is it along the same lines of Hereditary? Like maybe not really scary, but just like super messed up things start happening and then just snowballs from there, or is it like what kind of horror?
Hereditary is scarier. There's nothing really supernatural about this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought Hereditary was scary. I didn't think this. I guess I thought this was just like very, like bizarre,
it's chilling.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. It's like it is. It's
unnerving and uncomfortable.
Okay.
Definitely. Hereditary, I would say, is like scary and like just crazy, but like this is crazy and just unnerving. There we go. Okay.
Okay. Dude, I'll have to check that out. All right.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Nice. So we've been talking a lot about what we look for in a thriller, horror movie, whatever. We've kind of already stated what we like and don't like, but I want to expand on that a little bit. So there's a lot of like tropes of the horror genre that occur, like the same MOs over and over again. It's either something supernatural, it's like a murder thriller kind of thing. It involves some sort of, I don't know, ghost or whatever. Like, so what do you guys typically look for specifically? And I know you already said it, but we'll reiterate. What do you guys look for specifically in a very good horror movie?
I mean, okay, so I can go first.
Yeah.
I really like psychological thrillers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really like when just like a very creepy atmosphere, like
Okay.
The Strangers. I thought the beginning, especially of The Strangers, was so scary and like probably kind of realistic. So anything with like a creepy atmosphere, which is why Hereditary is awesome for me. The Strangers was awesome for me. The Ring.
Yeah.
Silent Hill. Silent Hill is just like
Oh, love Silent Hill.
yeah, totally. I love that movie. Such a very creepy atmosphere that scares you without necessarily grossing you out. I mean, I guess I could watch gory stuff, but I think when you can scare someone with just like creepy atmospheric stuff like that, I think that's hard to do, and when it happens, it's awesome.
Okay.
So those are probably my favorites.
I think my favorites are usually ones that are either one of two things. They're really, really unsettling. So it's got a realism feel to it where it's just an everyday life kind of scenario. You know, maybe the setting is just kind of a normal suburb or something like that, but something just slightly weird happens and it really sets you off and like really makes you kind of second guess things. I think of like Sinister as one of those things, or I think of like It Follows. It's just one of those types of movies where it's got some realism to it, but just something goes kind of crazy and it freaks you out.
Mm.
And then I really like just like ones that have a very unique concept. Like I remember one of the first horror films that I ever saw that really fucked with me was Nightmare on Elm Street,
Okay.
because it was just like, well, what if, you know, there's like people that can hurt you in real life and like kill you, like you know, psychopath killers or ghosts that can come haunt you, but this motherfucker comes into your dreams and like kills you. And that just like completely blew me out of the water, and like it scared the crap out of me. So that's kind of like my style that I like.
Cool. TJ?
I agree with Matt. I really like psychological thrillers. I'm a huge fan of a twist.
Yeah.
I definitely like things that are unsettling and creepy, and I know you guys both mentioned that you like that too. And I have a movie that I really want to recommend. It's called The Black Coat's Daughter.
Okay.
Gonna look it up now.
If you guys have Amazon Prime, it's on that right now. It's got I can't think of her name right now, but
Which
it's got one famous actress. She was in the season of, oh my god, I follow her on Instagram. I'm having such a brain fart right now.
Is it
Emma something.
Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like Emma Roberts. Okay.
Emma Roberts is in it. So this movie is just so unsettling. There's two storylines happening, and you don't really understand that for a while. But there's two
Okay.
storylines happening at the same time, and it's just really creepy and unsettling, and just it makes you uncomfortable for most of it, and it just gets creepier and creepier towards the end, and it is a little bit supernatural, and it's one of those things where it doesn't need to be creepy for it to be, or it doesn't need for it to be bloody for it to be scary. But there's some parts that are a little bit gory, but like there is a monster or a demon or whatever, but it only shows up. It's probably in the movie for like 3 seconds total. It's just in the corner in like one scene, and then the side in another scene, and it's just really uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable movie, and I love it. I would give that's probably one of my favorite horror movies right now.
Cool.
But I've been pretty sick of American horror movies lately, actually, and I've been watching a lot of foreign ones because they're doing some different stuff. I feel like I have. Have you guys heard of the streaming app Shudder? It's just all horror movies.
No.
Oh, no
Okay.
way.
Yeah, it's called Shudder. I think it's like $5 a month. I have an Apple TV, so it's just from the App Store.
Sure.
But yeah, they have like all these horror movies from all over the world. Japan obviously has some crazy ones. There are some Spanish ones that have been pretty scary. Sleep Tight is actually one that's on Netflix. It's a Spanish horror movie. That is nothing supernatural, no monsters, just creepy people. Just a person being a fucking creep.
Yeah.
Again, psychological thriller twists. That's what I look for. But yeah, I'll have to agree that I think that the gore and slashers are kind of a cheap thrill, a cheap scare. But there are some exceptions in like the torture realm of things. Like when you can there's always room in my book for you to improve on a way to kill someone or to torture someone. Like I just watched the movie Terrifier recently.
Yeah.
And this guy sawed a girl in half, like from her vagina to her head.
Oh.
And I'm like, wow, I've never seen that in a movie before. That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's this movie called Martyrs, which is a French movie from like 2008. That is a crazy movie. It's a psychological thriller. It has to do a little bit with Christianity and transcendence. Like they're trying to figure out what happens after death by trying to torture someone and put them through so much pain that they just kind of, their spirit leaves their body while they're still alive.
Oh, that actually sounds super interesting.
Yeah, I highly recommend Martyrs. There's
okay.
Yeah, it's French. It's from 2008. There's a couple different like versions of it or recreations.
Yeah.
Don't watch the recreations.
Okay.
Only that one. Yeah, that one's crazy. But
TJ, what do you think of the Human Centipede?
I actually never saw the Human Centipede.
Oh, really?
There are some movies to me that I just feel like they won't even be worth it to me. It's kind of like an insult to the genre.
Yeah.
And I never saw that one.
That was
like I understood the gist of it. Like it was like, okay, well, poops into a mouth and then the poop just goes through everybody, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't need to see it.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I think I'm right there with you, TJ and Matt, and just like the suspense, mystery, and Alan too, for that matter. Just like the more the thrillers. Like I can't think of any other directors, but like I really like David Fincher movies and that tone where it's kind of very unsettling, but also kind of interesting. Like I know he does a lot of crime stuff, but Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, like those style type of movies, but obviously more leaning towards the horror side of it is what I find.
Was he the one who did that Netflix series on a?
Yes. What was that called?
Mindhunter or something?
Mindhunter, yes. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff. Where it's like, oh god, real people can actually do this fucked up stuff, and
yeah, even those were kind of creepy.
Yeah, and that's not touching horror at all, but I just find myself gravitating to those types of movies. How do you guys feel about, like we kind of mentioned it, but the supernatural elements, like the slashers, the ghosts, what else? Just some of the. TJ mentioned it, the more Americanized movies, like the shit we're seeing, like what just came out, The Nun, which is the last part of the Conjuring movies. Oh yeah, speaking of which, the Conjuring series here. I haven't had a chance to really watch any of those, but those seem to be like the standard for American horror right now. TJ, can you give us the rundown on those? And are those worth watching? Are those good horror movies?
Yeah, I definitely think The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, Conjuring 2 specifically is better.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I would say that they're pretty good American horror movies. Conjuring 2 is our first introduction to the nun.
Yep.
And her scenes in that are actually like really scary.
Okay.
But I actually haven't seen the nun yet, but I've heard not good things about it.
Ooh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like by the time they get to like the fifth movie, it's probably not going to be good.
Yeah. I think Annabelle is a spin-off or like an origin thing from the first Conjuring too.
Okay. That's my weak spot in horror movies is I don't like dolls. I think anytime a doll is involved, I'm out. Chucky, no thanks. Annabelle is the only reason why I won't watch The Conjuring, even though I know it's a very small part in The Conjuring.
Well, just watch 2 then.
Yeah, or 2. But yeah, I can't do dolls for some reason.
Is it because they're scary to you, or you just don't like them?
They're just creepy. I don't know. Even like
so you've never seen The Boy?
No, I probably wouldn't either.
The Boy is a creepy one.
Yeah. Even like anytime anybody has a old collection of dolls, I'm just like, that's
oh yeah,
like get out of here. I just can't do it. Is there anything like that you guys can't do that?
There's nothing that really like freaks me out
too
much. There's ones that I just am over that I don't really care to watch, but
yeah. I hear you on that.
Nothing that turns me off to movies like that.
Okay. Matt, anything?
The only thing that turns me off is like Paranormal Activity ones, but those are just because I like I don't believe them so much that I can't even get immersed into it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, like it's just somebody pulling a string on a door to make it slam and all that shit. Yeah.
It's like where they're like trying to be ghost hunters and then it gets like too real. It's like I just can't stand those movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't really like torture-ish movies like Hostel and Saw and stuff like that. I just would rather not watch that. I think it's probably because most of the TV shows and most of the entertainment I watch is like comedies and lighthearted stuff. So
it's a stark difference from comedies,
really
going
is.
from comedies to torture,
Right.
torture porn, horror movies.
Yeah. Probably pass on most of those. So.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we've mentioned a ton of material so far. So let's talk about a little bit about game changers. So real quick, let's each share just a movie or a TV show or whatever that's horror based that you think just completely changed the landscape of the genre here.
TJ.
Well, I was talking to Nick a little bit earlier, and I think that the most recent thing that we've seen that really changed it or brought something new to the game was the Blair Witch Project, and that pretty much stemmed all of that found footage type of stuff. Like Paranormal Activity was kind of along the same lines. It's just like that first person camera thing. Well, it wasn't really done before, and now it's super done.
Oh yeah, it's like
it's a very saturated genre of horror right now.
Yeah.
But a game changer nonetheless. Like that was the first movie that like gave people like motion sickness while they were watching it because it was so jumpy. And now people are kind of used to that kind of thing. And there's a lot of that element in a lot of other movies, even if it isn't the whole movie, like. Because we all have cell phones and we all have video cameras all the time, like it's a more realistic thing to see in movies now is like a little bit of a snippet of a video or something. Like,
back in the Blair Witch days, he had to use like VHS tapes, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you could just find those tapes somewhere, and that's even creepier. It's just finding a tape somewhere.
Oh, for sure. Just you don't know what you're gonna view when you pop it in. You're just like could be literally anything in here.
Yep.
Blair Witch is a good one. I think, like you said, just a bunch of found footage movies. It's gotten they're very hit or miss too. Like besides the original Blair Witch and maybe like I don't know one other found footage movie. I think the rest of them have been not very well received. I think critics and fans.
There's a lot of those documentary style movies. One of my favorite ones, though, which actually you cannot find anywhere anymore, was The Taking of Deborah Logan. Okay. If you can get your hands on that movie or a torrent or something, I believe the company that owns the licensing of it like went out of business or sold it or something, so it cannot be bought or sold in the U.S. right now. But
wow, okay,
that was a really good documentary style horror movie that had to do with Alzheimer's. They were doing a documentary on this woman and her Alzheimer's was progressing, and like
dang, okay,
there was some stuff to do with like a murder and a cult and stuff. You guys should, I don't know, I assume that you torrent things since your podcast is the torrent.
The Torrent podcast is not condone torrenting as is illegal.
We can confirm or deny that.
But if you stumble across The Taking of Deborah Logan, that one's really, really good.
Cool. I'm surprised no one has thrown it up on like
twists.
YouTube yet or something like that.
I know. I actually I tried to buy it on eBay. I bought like a DVD of it on eBay, but it was like the Japanese version or something. Like the DVD would not work in my DVD player or my PS3 or my my MacBook. Like it wouldn't work in any of it. It just like was not made for US players.
Dang.
So like it used to be on Netflix. I've seen it like 5 times and now I can't watch it at all.
Oh, wow.
Because I haven't torrented anything because it's super illegal and you shouldn't do that.
Right. Who wants to go next here?
I mean, I can go and
Sure.
talk about The Ring. I loved The Ring. I thought it was awesome. Thought it introduced the creepy long-haired girl trope, I guess you would say.
Now, are you talking about the original Japanese version, or are you talking about the new American version?
I guess. Well, I guess the newer
or just the
one.
whole concept in general? I guess.
I guess
really.
I don't know. I guess just the whole concept in general of that whole kind of idea of just like this possessed like demonic person, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked The Ring because it was like a mystery almost. Like he would do all those, or she, I can't remember even who was the main character, would do all those things, like looking at all those videos and like following all these clues and finding this house, and everything was just like gray and like spooky. And I think that's a good atmosphere type scary movie, which I really, really like a lot.
And that's
So
one of those movies where like the monster or whatever is so iconic. Like so many people have
definitely.
spoofed it or copied or done something very much like that. And that actually plays off of, well, it's from the monster's supposed to be like some Japanese demon, right, or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure The Grudge is very similar. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
think I've seen The Grudge. I don't know what the difference is between them, but it's basically it seems like a same person type thing.
Yeah.
So, both those movies I thought were
The
pretty
Grudge is more so just a curse. Well, I guess The Ring is too. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you got to watch that video,
yeah.
which was cool. The video
yeah,
of it was cool.
that's another good point. The whole like you watch the video and 7 days later you die, and it was related to like the 7 days that girl was in a well, and then she died
Mhm.
of starvation or whatever. And the whole thing, I thought that was like a pretty big start of a trend there. So I thought that was
Yeah.
very cool.
Cool. I'll go next. I think Saw 1 for sure is a game changer. Now, I'm not a big fan of the torture porn. I think they overdid it on all those movies. Like it just got to be so ridiculous by the seventh, by like the third Saw movie, and then you got Hostel, and you got a bunch of other ones that are just like it's just all about the gore. It's not really about story or anything interesting. But I do think Saw 1 was a game changer. One, because if you have a million copycat movies, that means you did something right. And two, I think Saw 1's a really good murder mystery with horror elements. I think it's just a solid entry into horror movies. And while I may not like a lot of the sequels, I think the first one was very good, and it did spark a whole time in movies where like we had that type of movie coming out almost every year.
Yeah, that was a super low budget movie too, right?
Yeah, yep.
I want to say it was like a college project or something like that,
Something
or college
like that.
students.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the whole movie, there's only a couple set locations, and
it just goes to show you really don't need that much. You don't need a high budget movie to make
yeah,
to make it really uncomfortable and a really good horror movie.
right. Yeah, man. So cool. Alan, how about you?
Yeah, my game changer. It's kind of hard to place exactly, but I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to all the zombie movies. So when I think of them, I think of like Dawn of the Dead or Night of the Living Dead as like some of the first movies to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just created such a cool concept and such a interesting genre that has spread out into a lot of different things. Because it started off just as zombies are coming up, or the dead are coming back to life. But then people took it and were like, all right, well, what can we do with this? How can we make it more realistic? And you start to see things like Resident Evil come out and 28 Days Later, where it's a virus that infects people, and now they're coming back to life and trying to make it more realistic. And you have I Am Legend that kind of plays off of that trope too. And there's just so many movies that kind of took that whole zombie theme and did something a little bit different with it, and just created this whole huge genre of horror films. So
yeah, zombies are huge. I do think zombies are very overplayed nowadays, though. I mean, you have Walking Dead on TV, you have a million copycat things of Walking Dead, and like you rattled off there, just a million zombie movies right there. I think right now, I think zombies are overplayed, but no doubt they got a huge part in horror history. And like anytime you go out on Halloween, somebody's going to be a zombie. You go to any Halloween event, there's going to be a zombie there, and it's just kind of it's a mainstay in the horror genre. But I do think they are overplayed in terms of movies.
No, I think this is the best time to watch horror movies, and I'm pretty psyched we're doing this episode because I've actually been watching a lot of horror movies lately. I don't watch movies very often, and this has been really great.
Yeah.
So.
TJ, you and I were talking before we started recording. This is for Matt and Alan here. You're like 7 episodes into the Haunting of Hill House.
The Hill House. Yeah,
The Hill
yeah.
House.
Yes.
I just watched the first episode last night. I thought it was pretty good. I want to keep watching. I think there's going to be a ton of twists in that show. I don't know if you can...
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't want to give much away, like,
no,
because you're my friend and I love you, and I don't want to give them away for you. But yeah, definitely worth the watch. Like, I think the advertisement that I saw on Facebook that was shared around that was making people like pass out and throw up because it was so scary, which is absurd. It's absurd. It's not that scary. It's not that scary. Like, there are some scary parts for sure. Yeah, for sure there are some scary parts, but I feel like the storyline is the real like crazy part. Honestly,
dang, I hadn't heard that the ad was making people throw up and stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah,
throwing up though. I feel like if I was so scared, I would scream.
I would think I would throw up out of my butt. Well, yeah,
I'd like to be that afraid though that I throw up.
Right. I wish a show would make me like throw up and shit my pants and like and like burp and stuff. I don't know.
Your body
like I've never been that scared before.
All the fluids get released from your body.
I definitely recommend that show. When we hang up, I'm probably gonna try to not fall asleep and watch some more episodes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. So Matt and Alan, you guys should definitely check that show out if you're looking for something interesting to watch Halloween week. I think that's a good bingeable show to crush through the week of Halloween. So
my sister and brother-in-law recommended that show.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. We'll have to talk about it, give a little bit of a series review after we all get through it here.
Sure.
Cool. Well, that about wraps it up. So, TJ, I just want to thank you for coming on the show. Hope you had a good time.
Thanks for having me. I had a blast.
Yeah. It was good. We haven't caught up in a while. We gotta hang out. We're not that far away from each other, so
I know.
I gotta swing by your place, check out your apartment, and
you've never been here before I move out.
Yeah. Cool. So TJ, is there any place people can find you on social media that anything you want to plug before we go?
Oh, you probably don't want to be friends with me on Facebook. That's boring. That's for like friends. That's for like old family.
Oh,
like,
did I say Facebook? I just meant social media. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. But that is social media. So like, you can find me on Facebook, but that's gonna be boring. I don't talk much. My Instagram is where all the
that's where the hotness.
Anything you need to know about me. Yeah, and that is just my name. I keep it simple. It's that @ symbol.
Yep.
TJDEBELLIS.
Very nice.
That's my name.
Nice.
So you can find TJ on Instagram, and of course, as I said off the top of the show, you can find us also on Instagram at @TheTorrentPod. All right, guys, very nice. This has been an episode of The Torrent. We'll see you next time. Well, that's it for this episode of The Torrent. Thank you all for listening. Download, rate, and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast service. If you want to get in contact with us, feel free to send us an email, thetorrentpodcast@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us on Facebook and Twitter @TheTorrentPod. We'll see you guys next time.